Well, welcome to our first At Home with Holland Home webinar. I am Michael Loafman. I'm here in the sales office at Bretton Woods in Raybrook with Cindy Price at Bretton and Victoria Carson, and also joined by Kathy Riebel at Raybrook. So this is our first webinar, so we ask you to be patient and with us as we go through things. We've had a practice round here, but sometimes, you know, those, even the practice rounds, you think you got it and you don't. So hopefully we can get through this. This is probably our most technically challenged webinar. So we're starting off right with that at the beginning. But we're so glad you could take time today and join us. Today on the webinar, we are going to do a Bretton Homes North tour of our sales model here. And it's for sale, and talk a little bit about this project here at Breton Homes North. Following that and talking about some of the other options here at Holland Home, we'll talk about the continuing care agreement. Get a lot of questions on that, so we're going to do an overview video and then have a discussion. Finally, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions that you have, and so we invite you to do that. If you do the Q&A box, there at the bottom of your screen or the top, depending on your setup, you can type those in and we'll do the best we can to get to all of them. So we ask you remain muted, and then we'll just get started here with the tour of Bretton Homes North. So let's try this out. Welcome to our first At Home with Holland Home webinar. I'm Michael Loafman, part of the sales team here, along with Kathy, Cindy, and Victoria, and we're glad to have you here on our first webinar. Today we're just going to do a tour of Bretton Homes North, tell you a little bit about that background, also talk about some of the other things that are available here at Holland Home. We're also going to talk about the continuing care agreement. What does that mean? What's involved? And finally, we're going to have some time for question and answer. So we want to hear from you what's on your mind. And we're just part of this new environment with doing a webinar. So if you're just show some grace with us as we go through some of this, and we're going to have a great time today. We hope you're enjoying your treats at home. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Bretton Homes North. It's our newest project. We're also going to talk about some of the other things we have available, like I said. But Bretton Homes North is about a 3 to 4 year old project. And what's happened here is we've had this 60 acres for a number of years. And before we did anything, we knew we wanted to develop this. And so we did a lot of national research about what do seniors want? As baby boomers age, what's important? And we did a focus group with our own residents because they're going to have some great opinions and things that we may not have thought about. So we took both of these things, put them together, gave it to our local architect, and so we've got really the best of both that came here at Bretton Homes North. So this sales model is, the one we're going to tour today, is a Monterey floor plan. So it's our middle floor plan. We have a Laurel, which is larger, and a Silverberry, which is smaller. We have those available as we speak now as well. They're white box, so you could finish them. But the first thing you're going to notice here in the Monterey, in any home at Bretton Homes North, is that there's no steps to enter. It's this way here and in the garage. So it's a barrier-free entrance. So as we age, if we have a wheelchair or a walker, no problem here. It's an easy access into them. One of the other things that came out of our focus group was having a front porch. You know, it used to be that's what we had, was a front porch. And then we all moved our porches to the back. And now there's been this resurgence of having a front porch. So it's a great overhang here, great protection. All of our homes are hardy board cement board. So it's really quiet inside, and it's also great for insulation. So let's come into the house, because that's why you tuned in today, right? You wanted to see what was inside. So come on in. You're going to notice really large, wide hallways. So that again, it makes it a lot easier for us to age in place. The first room here on the left is our flex room. So this can be a bedroom. We have it shown as an office. There's a large closet back here. So really a lot of possibilities. The doors here are glass, but these can be barn doors, they can be solid doors, a lot of options for you. But a nice sized room here right as you come in. So if we continue down the hallway here a little bit, one of our many closets here. We live in Michigan, so we need closets. So there's a closet in here, right for your guests as they come in the front door. And continuing on, it's our guest bathroom. This is the first of 3 bathrooms you're going to see today. But this bathroom has a tub and so a full bath. That can be a shower if you like as well, just a walk-in shower. And behind that door is a really large linen closet. So great location for your guests to use the bathroom. Coming over this way is the garage. One of the big things we heard from our focus group was having a large garage. And you'll notice this doesn't have any kind of step or anything to come in. It all slopes up. But this is a really wide garage. And it has even 2 large vehicles could fit in here without any problem and still have room to maneuver around. You know, you don't need any rakes or lawnmowers or snow blowers because we take care of all that for you, so it gives you a lot of free space here in the garage. Let's come back in the house here, and we're going to look at the laundry room. The laundry room was, again, something that came out of that focus group, and it wanted an area that was, kind of you could shut off and have some privacy. Slop sink here. Granite countertops throughout. This is one of our standard upgrades. Front load washer and dryer. It's all maintenance free. So if something happens to any of this, you just make a phone call, we repair or replace it. Residents love the peace of mind that they don't have to worry about any of those things anymore. Another large closet, so as you come in from the garage, you can hang up your coat. But then continue into the living room and kitchen area. One of the big things we heard about was doing an open floor plan, because this is just how people live now for entertaining. Maybe your house is like ours where people come over, where do we all congregate? It's the kitchen. So that's here, and you'll notice a beautiful granite countertops again that are standard, stainless appliances which are standard. One of the changes we made in this, you'll notice the nice tile backsplash as well. One of the major changes we did was move the microwave. So we moved it, normally it's over the stove in most places, but by moving it over this way, it's lower, so if somebody is a little shorter, it's a lot easier to access. And then this also gives us a beautiful design element of this oven hood and stove hood. So a little more contemporary design. French door, refrigerator, again stainless steel, this is all standard. And a standard freezer on the bottom, again, just part of our a little bit upgraded appliances. There's a dishwasher here, and then this is a really fun piece of a large pantry. This kind of is, to me, a big wow, because you can store a lot of things in this area. If you think about this being cabinets, it wouldn't have nearly the amount of storage space. So this has been a great feature that people simply love that have moved into Bretton Homes North. Our dining area, of course, is right here. And then here you can see our screened-in porch. This also could be a four-season room. So what would happen is this wall would get pushed that way, that wall would get pushed this way, and so you'd have a much even larger living area. So screened-in porch is great, but you have options, which we all like to have options, right? But a four-season porch is available. So really a four-season room because it's part of the home. You'll notice really large ceilings here in the living area, canned lights, ceiling fan. This is all standard. Upgraded Anderson windows, which are an upgrade from our standard. You'll notice how quiet it is here in the house. That's all part of the windows and that hardy board I talked about earlier. Coming into the master suite, you'll notice, again, large room, And that was one of the things, again, that came out of the focus group. Here we have queen size bed, 2 nightstands, a dresser, side chair, still a lot of extra room in this space. So plenty of room for a bedroom and any furniture or other things you want to add. Then the bathroom's attached, of course, and you'll notice there's another large linen closet here. Double sinks are standard. That was, again, something that came out of our focus group, that couples really like that, of having that extra sink. You'll notice 88 height toilets all through the house, so higher than standard. And then the shower, it's a walk-in shower in the master bath. So what this is, a very small lip there, so very easy to get over. Glass doors are standard, double shower heads here as well. Then the closet here, it's motion sensor. We've already got in here, so it's already on. But this closet can be configured any way you would like it. And the automatic light here, we also in the bathroom have a sensor that if it gets really humid, the bathroom fan comes on. It's all part of our smart home technology. When you move into Holland Home, you get an iPad here at Breton Homes North. That will control your HVAC, that will control your garage door, it will control a bank of lights, up to 10 areas of lighting that you can control right with your iPad or with an Alexa device. How many times have you gone out and you'd say, did I close the garage door? Well, you can look at the app on your phone and you can tell whether you did or not. So a really fun feature. But let's head downstairs. This particular home has a lower level that's 840 square feet. So it adds quite a bit of space. Now, some people really like having that extra space. If you don't need that extra space, we have a lot that has no lower level. So again, all about options. But you'll notice everything we've talked about, everything's here on the main floor. You don't have to go downstairs unless you want to. But coming downstairs, you'll notice the stairwell is an extra foot wider. We did that on purpose to facilitate if you ever needed to add a chair lift, which you could do right here. Still plenty of room. And you'll also notice then some of the lighting here on the stairwell, again, part of our smart home age-in-place technology. So let's come downstairs. You're going to notice a really large room, kind of a family room look here, with canned lights, beautiful windows. Here in this particular lot is a lookout basement. Now, this lower level is 8 foot. This is the only one we have that's 8 feet. A typical Bretton Homes North, it's 9 feet. But this lot didn't allow us to do that. So this is a foot smaller than normal, than some of our other floor plans, but still does not feel like you're in a lower level. This is a really fun part here. Storage is fun, right? If residents say they didn't have to get rid of anything when they moved in. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but you'll notice again, quite a bit of storage room here in the lower level, should you need it. Then coming back over here is our third bathroom and another bedroom. So if you have kids that are visiting, if you have other friends that are coming into town, it's a great space here. It's really private. Another large bathroom. This particular one has a tub, but you can also do a shower here. And you can also notice the 88 height toilet. Another huge linen closet here. Again, tons of storage, which people love. And then finally, a bedroom down here with another large walk-in closet. So we try to think of a lot of the details that were important to people. So this is, again, this is the Monterey floor plan, 1613 square feet on the main level, 840 on the lower level. We have one that's larger than this. We have a floor plan smaller. We've got standalones. And we'll also talk a little bit later in the webinar about some of the other options you have for living at Holland Home. We have one-bedroom apartments that start as low as $92,000 for life care. So really a wonderful peace of mind. So that's all I have for this. Let's continue on with our webinar in the next section. Well, thank you for helping us get through that. A little bit of technical difficulty there at first, so thank you so much. Excuse me. We, as we talked about there, the Monterey is the floor plan we went through here at Breton Homes North. And the Silverberry, we have one of those available right now. It's a white box, so you could pick all of your finishes and cabinets and electrical. And that's slightly smaller than the Monterey, the one we went through. And then we have the Laurel, also a white box, so you could also pick all of the finishes there. As I mentioned in the video there, tour, we have a couple things that have just been added here in the last few months. One is that lot. It's going to be a lot with no lower level. So we had some feedback that maybe not all of that space was going to be needed. And so to bring some costs down, we're in the process of doing that plan for a lot with no lower level. And then we've also added some standalone homes. All of our standalone homes have sold. And so we have added a couple of those on the property along Norway Maple Court. So in addition to all of that, we also have a couple of our regular Bretton homes available as we speak. One of them is completely ready. It has been finished with new carpet and paint and updated. So that one is in move-in condition. At Breton Terrace and Breton Ridge, we have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments that are available right now. And we have a 1-bedroom apartment that's ready to go, actually. And then at Raybrook, at our Raybrook campus, in Estates 1 and in Estates 3, we have 1-bedroom apartments available. And again, there we also have a couple apartments that are ready to go. So we've had some need for that because people call and say, hey, I've got a buyer for my house. What do you have available that I can move in really quickly? We have that option. Now, you may have not know or have seen, but the real estate market here, especially in Grand Rapids, is really hot. We do not have any issues with people being able to sell their home. In fact, most people we're working with, they sell their place in a week or two. One of the people I just worked with, their house was priced in the high 100s, like 180, 190. They got 7 offers over list, and they got 26,000 over list. And we keep hearing that. There was something on the news last night that this is one of the hottest real estate markets. So there's some peace of mind in that once you've picked your place here, you're not going to have any trouble selling your home. And you have an advantage over a lot of people in the market that may be trying to sell their home and trying to find something else. You don't have to worry about that because you all have you have a place here picked out. We are anticipating, I don't have the details yet, but we do anticipate a price increase in January, which is pretty typical for us in most communities. But if you were to find one of these homes or apartments now and reserved it now, you would lock into the 2020 price before there was a price increase. At this point, probably wouldn't move until 2021, unless you picked one of the ones that are already finished. So you could lock in that price before and beat the price increase. So that's pretty exciting. So um, let's see here. Let me see if there are any questions before I get into the next section. What are the average property tax and utility costs at Bretton Homes North? Okay, great. Good question. So the property tax bill here, it will depend on the size of the home, and it will range approximately anywhere from about $4,500 to $7,500 a year. Now we get the tax bill from the city of Kentwood. We divide it up based on typically about the price of the home. So larger home that's more expensive is is more than a smaller place. Because we bill you the property tax separately, you can, in many times, claim a homestead deduction if you qualify for that. We have found that some people, that's a really wonderful option for them. And by us billing it separately, that is an option that's open to you. You also asked about utility costs. So you do pay for gas and electric, and it's metered separately. So it's however much you use. So if you go away in the winter and you turn things down, won't be as much. And conversely, if you like it really warm in the winter and cold in the summer, you're going to pay more than someone that's just the opposite. But with those Anderson windows and that Hardy board, our average utility bills here are anywhere from 100 to 150. The buildings are well insulated. You probably saw when we went through the model in the lower level where the storage is, it wasn't just 2x4 showing. It had been completely drywalled in. What happened during construction is the standards change for heat efficiency and cooling efficiency. And so we were required to blow in extra insulation. So the homes are very well insulated. And that is a good thing for you because you are able to have a lower utility cost. So if you have more questions as we go through all of this, just be sure to type it in that box there and be happy to try and answer it for you. And let's see here. So let's move on to our continuing care agreement video. And I'm going to do this again and see if I can make this work. And let's see here.
Between life care, life lease, CCAs, Type A's, Type B's, Type C's, conditions, comparisons, considerations, continuing care agreements can be pretty confusing. Be it Type A, B, or C, what a CCA is an agreement to provide a home and health care for the life of an individual. Holland Home chose a Type C, fee-for-service agreement, because it has a lower entry fee and much lower monthly fees than a Type A or a Type B, which we believe offers the most bang for the buck. The idea behind a Type C agreement is that your entry fee and monthly payments guarantee you a residence for as long as you live, all vibrant living services and amenities that are offered, and priority access to health care, including in-home health, assisted living, short-term rehab, and long-term nursing care should you need it, even if a person outlives their financial resources. Another plus of our Type C agreement is, when you leave independent living, an agreed-upon percentage of your entry fee is refunded to you. That means money back to bank, invest, offset healthcare costs, or whatever. It's your money. That, in plain-spoken English, is what you're paying for when you enter into a continuing care agreement with Holland Home. Here, in more detail, is what you'll also get as a Holland Home resident. Priority access to nationally recognized expert health care from our on-site team of nurses, physicians, aides, and therapists who specialize in assisted living, memory care, rehab, and long-term care. Plus the convenience of having that health care right where you live. So no need to travel to, move in with, or move you or your spouse away from your network of neighbors, family, and friends when you need them most. And a home you can call home sweet home, because we think senior living and living your dream should be one and the same. That's why we offer so many living options like 2 and 3 bedroom homes and roomy apartments in dozens of different sizes and layouts, with features like smart home technology, custom kitchens, covered garages, and outdoor entertainment areas, without any maintenance, yard work, snow removal, or home repairs of any kind. Plus a social scene second to none in a connected, look-after-each-other community with amenities like a pool, fitness center, first-class dining, restaurants and cafes, and a list of vibrant living offerings like day trips, concerts, biking, educational seminars, Bible studies, special interest clubs, and much more. Plus the peace of mind that no matter what, you're guaranteed Holland Homes' high quality of life and high quality of care from day one through the end of life, even if you outlive your financial resources. And finally, Holland Home offers something more important than any other continuing care agreement out there. Our promise for life to help every individual in our care thrive, socially, emotionally, intellectually, physically, and spiritually, and to deliver Christ-like care to every person we serve, like it should be. Now, hopefully, we've answered some of your questions. But the one question we can't ever seem to answer is the question every resident asks after they move in. Why didn't I do this sooner? Holland Home, senior living like it should be.
All right. So that is a little bit of an overview and of the continuing care agreement. So I'm going to show you this little diagram here. Hopefully you all can see that talks about the continuing care agreement. At Holland Home, we've talked a lot about, in the video, we talked about granite countertops and square footage and all the wonderful design and everything. And it feels like real estate. But really what you're doing when you come into Holland Home, you buy a life care contract. This is what you are purchasing. And excuse me, it feels like real estate, but it's much, much more than that. When you come into Holland Home, you purchase this continuing care agreement, and maybe you've seen this continuing care agreement. We can always email you a copy or get you a physical copy. It's pretty thick, as legal documents typically are. But you can purchase this continuing care agreement either at independent living and come into Holland Home, or you can do that here in assisted living and come into Holland Home. If you boiled that entire document down, it talks about 2 promises that are made by the continuing care agreement. And the first one's demonstrated in this graphic here. It's access to quality higher care should you need it. Now, 40% of us are going to need some sort of higher care in our lifetime. And this is part of your plan, or part of making a plan for the future so that you have peace of mind. Throughout your life, you've planned for everything. You've planned to go to college or put your kids through college, and you've planned major trips. You've planned on paying for kids' weddings and planning on retirement. This is that next step of how you plan for your future. So when you come into Holland Home, you have that guarantee of higher care. So let's just say you come into independent living here, and excuse me, you're doing great, part of Holland Home, enjoying the vibrant activities and all of those things. Maybe you need a little bit of help in the home. Our goal is to keep you as independent as long as possible. So that's why we have our in-home care team through Atrio that would be able to come right into your apartment or home to give you care. Maybe you have a short-term stay in rehab. Maybe you fell, you broke your foot, you need some rehab. So our nurse liaisons would be working on with the discharge planner at the homes, the hospitals, so that you could come back home to Holland Home. Now, sometimes in-home care is just not enough care, that you really need to be in an assisted living arrangement. Well, that's right here. You also have access to memory care, long-term care or skilled nursing, and finally hospice care through Faith Hospice. So this peace of mind that if you need that care, you have the access to it is so important. And it takes a lot of the worry off of you. It takes a lot of worry off your kids. We have many residents that tell us that this is part of their gift to their children. And that they know their kids are busy, they don't have the circumstances to take care of them or skill set. So this is their gift to their children. I talked about a second promise that this continuing care agreement does. And that promise is that should you outlive your resources through no fault of your own, you're never asked to leave, that at Holland Home, you always have a home. Now, that does not happen too much here in independent living. Our monthly fees here start at $677 a month, $667. So people in independent living typically are not outliving their resources. But assisted living can be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 starting out, up to $6,000. That's current pricing. Skilled nursing is $9,000 or more. And those are all very competitive rates here for Holland Home. They're competitive to the marketplace. So you can see even the best of savers can burn through money quickly. So there's peace of mind that if you do outlive your resources, you're not asked to leave. Now, one of the positive things is when you come into Holland Home, remember I said earlier, it's not real estate. You have an entrance fee. Part of that eventually rests with Holland Home. That's called the non-refundable. It's not fully part of Holland Home until you've been here 5.5 years. So let's say somebody moves in and they decide a year later to go to Arizona, they would get the majority of that non-refundable back. Their other part is a refundable that would come back to them when they left independent living, maybe to go up to this assisted living as an example. And we talked about that a little bit in the video about how that money comes back and maybe helps you pay for higher care. That non-refundable, going back to that part that buys the life care, that is really a guarantee of future care. And so the part of that can be tax deductible as a medical expense. Again, it's not a real estate transaction, so there is some tax advantage to people their first year that they are here. Now, some people that tax deduction doesn't help them at all, but part of that, as much as half of that non-refundable can be tax deductible as a medical expense. So once you come in, there is some advantage there. So that's, kind of a brief overview of the continuing care agreement. And let's see here. I'm going to go here to my video. Hello there, friends. And I am going to answer some of the questions you have just to see how we can help and answer those important things. So, all right. So let's see here. This first one, is the continuum of care options available at both locations? Yes, so we have that chart that we saw. The full continuum of care is available at Raybrook, and the full continuum care is also available at Bretton Woods with the exception of a dedicated memory unit. So we serve people at Bretton Woods with memory care issues, but we don't have a dedicated standalone unit for memory care. So some people are just fine in assisted living. We have people in assisted living with memory care issues, We don't have a dedicated unit. Now we are in the process of adding an additional 15 beds here at Holland Home at Bretton Woods. So we'll have 45 beds here for assisted living to serve the campus. But hospice is done typically in the in your apartment or home. So our friends over at Faith Hospice, they serve about almost 300 people a day. And the majority of those are right in their home. And so that could happen here, either in the apartment or in the condo. Sometimes the acuity is such where they need to go to our standalone hospice facility, Trillium Woods, over at 84th and 131. So that's also an option for people should they need that. So hopefully that answers your question there about the full continuum of care at both locations. Let's see here. Are there any limitations of giving once we enter the CCA? Okay, that's a great question. We get that some. You will note in the contract, there is a clause that talks about not gifting more than $1,500 a year. Now we know probably almost every person here probably gives more than that. If they tithe at church or have some charities that they are passionate about, and they got children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren they want to give Christmas and birthday gifts to, we understand that. That clause is in there to remind people that you could make yourself Medicaid ineligible if you gave away all your money, because we've made that promise that once you're here, we're going to take care of you for life. So we ask you to be good stewards of your funds. Now, so we're not talking about not giving Christmas gifts, not giving birthday gifts, not donating to church. But what we're talking about is what they would look for, what Medicaid would look for. If you've run out of money and they go back and they're going to look back into your look back, they're going to look to see, was there a big spike? Did somebody give every grandchild 20 grand? Did they give a child 30 grand to help buy a house or something like that? So we will not look at your finances unless you transition to higher care like assisted living, or you've run out of funds and you've asked help from Holland Home. If that happens, then we work with you to apply for Medicaid, and whatever Medicaid doesn't cover, then our benevolence fund here at Holland Home. Last year, we spent $5 million on benevolent care for people that had outlived their resources. So it's part of our calling here, I think, at Holland Home, since we've been around since 1892 and serving seniors. I think it's an important part of that. I illustrate it this way. In your career and in your life, as your income went up, you probably were able to do a little more at church financially. Maybe you gave nicer Christmas gifts as your income went up. Now, conversely, now that maybe income is dropping or the assets are coming down, then you would, reasonably maybe not gift as much. So we just don't want you to do anything that makes you Medicaid ineligible. So that's an important part of it, and that's why that clause is in there. Just to have a conversation, just like we're having now. Let's see. Great questions, everybody. Oh, what is the price of the home I showed today? And so that home that we toured, the Monterey sales model, that is priced at $478,000 on our 50-50 plan, 50% refundable, 50% is non-refundable, part that buys life care. Our Breton Homes North homes start at $343,000. That's the Silverberry on that lot that has no lower level. So that's probably our least expensive to come into Breton Homes North. But remember, I talked about at Raybrook, we have apartments right now that start right around $92,000, and that's for life care. So that's a one-bedroom apartment. That's life care. So that
if you think about what you're getting for that, that promise that if you need higher care, you receive it. And if you, excuse me, if you outlive your resources, you're not asked to leave. So um, sometimes people think, we've got a great range of options for people. So it's not just the high end, for the homes here at Bretton Homes North. And we do have other options that really can give your family the peace of mind. So that's a great question. Um, can I purchase one of the available units even if I'm on the wait list? Oh, absolutely. We'd love that. There's no need to wait. If one of the one bedroom apartments at Raybrook, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments at Bretton Woods, or one of the Breton Homes that's available, if you reserve it now, you lock into that 2020 price, even if something, you can't move to 2021. So it's a great time. We talked about that great real estate market. You can take advantage of that. And, it would be uh, just a great option for you if you decide to do that. We've had some people that have decided, that, hey, we've got somebody that wants to buy our home. We're ready to do this. So that's a great option, and it's nice that we have some things to offer for people, even homes and apartments that are already finished and ready to move in. So great questions. I think I've answered all of them here. I would say, kind of in closing, I have been the privilege of being here 9.5 years for a great organization. And I've worked with hundreds of seniors, as everyone on the team has. And I can tell you, not one has ever said to me they moved too soon. Most people, once they come in, and it's work to come in, it's work to move, regardless. Um, they said they wish they had done it sooner, but not one person has ever told me they moved too soon. So it's always too soon until it's too late, right? So if you're thinking about a move to Holland Home, talk to your senior living consultant. We're here to help, to just talk about what's available and why maybe making a move now would be a smart move. So not seeing any other questions. Oh, what's the cheapest unit available? I think, yeah, that's that $92,000 one bedroom apartment at Raybrook. So great question there. All right. I want to make sure I've covered everything I want to cover and respect everyone's time. All right. Yeah. And I don't know how much the increase is. I got a question about price increase. I haven't seen that yet. Typically it's, in the neighborhood of, 0.5% to 4%. It will just, a lot depends on the market. If you saw the news last night, it talked about real estate prices were up 5% in September in Grand Rapids. So it's a great time to take advantage of that. But I really thank you for joining us today. This is, like I mentioned, our first of 3 in this series. Our next webinar will be Wednesday, November 18th at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. I know we've got people from all over tuning in. And that's going to be an interview of a couple that have moved into Holland Home and talk about a little bit what that process was like, what surprised them, what was a challenge, how did they overcome that, and what do they think now? So you'll hear from a couple that have done the move, and we can benefit from their experience. So that'll be on Wednesday, November 18th. You'll get a reminder about that. And our third one will be about downsizing and staging your home. A lot of people struggle with, maybe they've been in their home a long time, and like, how do I go about doing this? How do I go about getting rid of things or going through things? And so we thought this might be a nice time to do it in December. If you think about, maybe the winter time when you have a little more time, maybe the weather and everything, that you want to go ahead and work on some of that downsizing. You're going to have some helpful hints from a couple different vendors about downsizing, and then also staging your home that makes it the most attractive for selling. So a couple exciting things coming up. So again, on behalf of Holland Home, thanks for tuning in today. We're so glad you could join us, and thanks for your patience during all this, all my operating error here, user error, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.